Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. We are right in the middle of our free motion quilting series where we're teaching you how to free motion quilt both on your home sewing machine and on your long arm. So today's video is going to be how I love to use the Swirl as a background filler. I think this is a great background filler. It helps tampen it down, especially if you use it as a smaller scale, and then it allows the block to totally pop. So we will see the full realization of this when we get on to our next segment, which is going to be on wavy lines when we fill in the center of the block. But for today, what I've done is I have stitched out the outline of just a really simple block pattern, and we're just going to fill in that background with that swirl. If you have not watched our video on the simplified swirl, make sure you do that first. You could always try to do any of the swirls that we've shown you. Any of the scales are fine. I would recommend a smaller one for this instance because it is going to be a smaller background filler. But you could try to do the fancier swirl if you want, that has those little points in between that we use in the stencil. So it really is up to you. You can have some fun with this, but I'm going to do the simplified swirl. Just a reminder, the pattern for this is available on our website, shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. It includes instructions both on how to do it with Quilt as you go, like we're doing for the domestic, or to put it all together and then quilt it on your long arm. Both work fine. And then also we have kits available for this in 4 different colorways. It is all solid fabrics. That way you can focus on your threads and how your stitches are turning out instead of being distracted by whatever ugly print you pulled because you don't want to waste your good fabric on this stuff. Because it does look really cool when it's all done because it's a very graphic look. You're quilting as the star of the show. It is a very fun quilt. And then also we have stencil packs. So if you get the stencil pack to go with this course, you're going to get the 4 stencils we use to teach you the 4 quilting stitches, get that muscle memory down, and a pounce pad so you can mark it very easily on your quilt blocks. All right, let's start as always with some sketching. All right, obviously my sketch is not to scale. That's not what we're worried about. What we're worried about here is learning how to work our way around the block because your path in quilting is very important, because if you make it all the way around and then figure out that, whoops, I missed this entire section here, you have to then break your thread, go back and get it. And it's very much better if you can just work your way around the quilt without any stops or starts. All right, so I'm going to start my top corner, and I'm just going to start by doing my swirls, and I'm just going to fill in this block. I am not super concerned about scale, but I am going to pass over where this point is at this point. And then I always like to come into the points and work my way back out. I feel like that works really well if you can do that. Now remember, we got to come out here. So that would not have been a very ideal situation because I really squeeze those in. They don't look very good. So this is why you practice ahead of time so you know to be on the lookout for that. So that way you don't end up with some weird little things. Maybe it would have been better to go down and up. I think I'll try that in the next one. All right, so we're going to go up. We're going to come into the center and come out. We go our way out. This one, I'm going to go ahead and come up and down and see if we can make that work for us better, and it is. It's going to work out a lot better as now I'm able to just transfer over here. I still got my 3 stitches in, and I was able to end up right where I wanted at that point. So we can do 1 here, come in 1, come out. And again, this one I'm going to go up and down because we've learned our lessons. It doesn't help them. My thing is nowhere near to scale. All right, now we're coming up over again. We're going to come over, come down to the point, and wiggle our way back up to the point where we started, and we are good to go. All right, let's do this with needle and thread. All right, so just like in our sketch, I'm going to start on my corner. This one I'm going to work across because I want to come through at this point and kind of work my way around clockwise. Get my rhythm first. That always takes a second. I've been filming these videos back to back, and still, every time I get going, I got to figure out what that rhythm is going to be. That's better. All right, now this one, I'm going to work down to the bottom because if I go left to right, I'm going to end up in the corner and not where I want to be. But this way I can fill in 9 very nicely. And that's going to be kind of a template here. get 9 swirls in. All right, now we're gonna go straight over that point. And I'm gonna work my way down to get into that point. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go across that center. All right, we're just gonna wiggle our way out. That one got a little away from us. It happens. Like I said, I am on the long arm almost primarily. So this is gonna look a little better when you're looking at that long arm section. Alrighty, time to go back. And this is working out pretty good to go left to right there, which we figured out when we were doing our sketching. Alright, so I can come across where that point is. Same deal, I'm going to work my way to that point, filling in up and down as I go. All right, coming out to the point again. This one again, I'm gonna go up and down on this one, because then I'll be able to finish up where I need to be, I believe. Good deal. Got a little small on those. You kind of always have to keep watch over your scale. Easy to get distracted and kind of go too small or too big. Work our way out. Hit that point. Same deal. Work our way to that inner triangle. All right, we're getting to the end. don't know if you can notice there, my stitches were getting like way too big. So I definitely needed to change the speed of my sewing machine to better match the speed that I'm moving my hands around with here. All right, we're going to come over the point. Work our way down to that corner one more time. All right, and wiggle our way out to that point. All right, here we are. We have got our background filler done with our swirl. I think that if we put this up with a side-by-side of what the long arm one looks like, this is going to be our biggest difference in terms of skill level, of my personal skill level, between doing it on the domestic and doing it on the long arm. I just have like, you would think it would be the same, but it really is not. Like with the long arm, you're doing this with the machine, and like I've got a bliss track on mine, so everything's very nice and smooth. And there's a stitch regulator, so it just automatically has nice smooth stitches. And this, it's just different. It is different. It is the same, you're going in and out, but it just is a different situation when you're moving the fabric versus when you're moving the long arm. So, I mean, this is passable. It's totally passable. It is going to look a heck of a lot better on long arm, I can guarantee it. But I do love this as a background filler. So look even better once we fill this in with some wavy lines when we get to our next segment. All right, go grab a kit and a stencil pack and the pattern over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. Improve your free motion quilting skills. And you know what? If your ones on your domestic look like this, you know, maybe you might do better on a long arm. There's places where you can rent time. See if that's easier for you, or it might go the other way too. I definitely know at least one professional quilter who took many long arm quilting classes and could not get it. And when she finally sat down and did it on her domestic, everything was absolutely fabulous, and she's made quite a career of it because that's just her preferred method, and it looks fabulous, much more so than when she does it on the long arm. For me, it's the opposite. So, you know, we'll show those side by sides one more time so you know I do know what I'm talking about. This is just not my regular method of quilting, so they're not all perfect, and that's okay because it gives you permission not to be perfect too. But you know what? That still looks pretty good, and it's done. So finished quilts are better than them hanging in your closet waiting to be quilted. So that is always a good thing too. All right, I hope you're enjoying the series. Make sure you've liked, subscribed, done all the things. You can join our email list as well so you know when we have new tutorials and new courses like this. So check all that out, and until next time, happy quilting.